Coachella Backstage, I'm Jason Bentley, and we are now going to entertain a creators roundtable conversation, and we've wrangled a couple creative people for this. Joining us here at the Coachella live studio, one of the featured performers here at the festival, Sudan Archives. Hello, hello.
Hello, how are you doing?
And an artist featured here on the grounds in his first year presenting his work is Simón Vega. Welcome.
Hola, everyone. Thank you.
So first, let's describe a little, for perspective for the audience on what you guys do each individually. Sudan Archives, you are a performer in, I guess it's fair to say, an unconventional style of playing the violin or the Sudanese fiddle. But tell us a little more about it.
Yeah, I'm a violinist. I'm self-taught, and I'm really inspired by African fiddle music, specifically West African fiddling. They play these one-string gourd instruments, and I'm really inspired by the way they play and their style. Also, the violin culture in Sudan is really beautiful, so I'm inspired by that as well.
Now, you actually hold the fiddle different from what people might think. It's not the traditional on the shoulder. You perform differently.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, sometimes I'm just holding it below my shoulder, or I'm like plucking it like a guitar. And I even have a MIDI violin that makes like different synth sounds as well when I'm live on stage. So yeah, I got a lot going on.
Well, we're going to come back to that in terms of like how you unlock the creativity and do what you do. But Simón, tell us what you have going here at Coachella this year, your installation.
Yeah, I'm doing a sculpture that is a part of a series in which I'm working about, with politic and historic elements of the Cold War and how that affected Central America. It's a big space station based on a Soviet Mir, which was one of the first space stations, but it's been rendered like a shanty town. So it's mixing elements from first world and third world, from science fiction, but also from reality, back home and poverty, but mainly creativity and survival.
Mm. So for our audience who, may be inspired by you guys and your work, how do you tap into creativity, inspiration? Is there a ritual to it? Is there a process? Do you need to go to a certain place? Sudan Archives, if you could tell us how you really became confident enough to explore your artistry.
Honestly, like looking up tribes and YouTube play fiddles that they've made out of like the resources that they have, like lizard skin, and like nailing it down to like a calabash and putting horsehair on it and playing it and making their own melodies and songs. That really inspired me to keep pushing and doing what I am doing on my DIY aspect, because if they can do it and even make their own instruments, I can make my own music, I can perform, I can keep going and get inspired and, yeah, spread the light.
What about resisting convention, tradition, especially the tradition of the violin? There'll be people who will say, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, sometimes I hold the violin incorrectly because I play so wildly, but kind of feel like it's my style now. So.
Yeah, no, you're owning it. But where did you get the confidence to do that in the first place, to express yourself this way?
Probably in church. The church choir, they are very like, they're always pushing the kids to just come up and play instruments.
Yeah.
So just growing up in church and having that family around really pushed me to just make my own melodies and play violin and make beats with it and just keep going and manipulating the sound and experimenting.
Nice. Simón, how about you give us some inspiration on how you tap into your creative for these majestic projects?
I am surrounded by all these houses and informal architecture, and I see it all the time, and sometimes it's very different and creative how they solve certain problems. So I'm always drawing from that. I feel there's a lot of, even though there's poverty and violence in El Salvador, but the one important element in creativity is the humor. And I'm always tapping into that because that's how people really get by on really hard times, you know, funny things, and you're just finding another way to look at things. So I'm always drawing from that, and really working is something I love to do, and I want to do it every day, and it's very natural for me. So there are a few rituals here and there about, you know, organizing things, and but mainly it's a process that all parts of your life become, you know, connected to, and you are really channeling a lot of what you see in your experience, and also dreams or worlds that you would like to see through your art. So it's very liberating, actually, and you're always trying to tap into it when you get the chance in the day. Yeah.
Well, both of you, your artistry is an inspiration to us. Thank you for joining us backstage at Coachella for our little round table, and the best of luck to both of you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.